Ờm, con game được bạn tặng cho hồi sinh nhật bạn nước ngoài. So thanks Riley for this fantastic game you bought for me. Đi xuống, cho táo rơi xuống hả? Cho rơi xuống cái gì? À, spray để mà hút từ đít. Ăn táo. Ăn táo khác. Space to pull from tip. Huh. No one will ever love you. Cảm ơn. Cái gì đấy? Ê vô. Ui, bị bắt nạt à? Vãi. Đánh nhau. Mày này. Ây da.
John woke to the shrill cry of his alarm clock and lay there, rigid, his usual morning condition. But there was another reason John couldn't get out of bed. It was the weight. A weight that had nothing to do with his muscles or fat or sweaty blankets. John was weighed down by a piece of paper. The invitation to his high school reunion. From across the years, the words he'd heard in the schoolyard were still clear. You're a loser. No one will ever love you.
Buồn quá vậy. 3 tháng trước khi tụ trường.
John needed to shower and wash off the sweaty stink of desperate sadness.
Được đấy. Tắt nước. Đánh răng sao? À, bạn trả đây. Phát hai tốn răng. À, ok. Chọn outfit. Nhìn nó gay vậy. Bộ này lịch sự nha.
John had 3 months until the reunion to turn his life around. First, he needed to clean up.
Clean dishes. Take care of leftovers. Take care sao? Ai. Pain. Dọn đĩa đâu? Đồ ăn đâu? À đây. Dọn này.
The only reason he'd ordered so much takeout was because Delilah, the delivery peen, made John feel butterflies in his testicles.
Wow.
John suddenly realized the time. Distracted by his new drive to improve his life, he had become late.
Ôi, trễ giờ.
He needed to hurry, or he'd miss the bus to work.
Từ. Cái này có gì?
John called it his study, but it was basically for games and porn. Mostly porn.
Sao có cái máy rung kìa? Đi được không? Đi chưa? Ơi! Thằng kia đi đứng cẩn thận nhá. Đấm cho bây giờ.
John had left his apartment late, but if he caught the express bus, he might make it to work on time. John didn't really like his job, but it had two qualities in its favor. One, he could pay his rent, and two, Barbara. Currently John's top candidate for his reunion date.
Huh.
John noticed a moderately attractive peen
Ây da.
waiting at the stop.
Phụ nữ. Hello chị.
He tried to start a conversation and did not get the reaction he'd hoped for. It was probably because he was a minimum wage
vãi,
peen.
chê mình nghèo
She could
à.
probably sense it.
Chê mình nghèo khỉ. Chê thôi. Này chê này. Đến công ty rồi đấy.
The office hummed with cold fluorescent lighting. The air was cold and stale, lifeless. How long had John worked here? Long enough to deserve better.
Flash. Call. Ây da, hello anh. Bị căng cái gì? Cửa khóa. Cút ra. À, đang nói chuyện với chị nào. Có lộ không? Có lộ không? Cửa khóa. Chưa vô được không? Không được.
John was late, but he felt daring. He could sneak into the office through the archives, or he could stroll through the front entrance with enough confidence to bluff his boss.
Thế à, một là đi đường vòng tránh gặp sếp vì đi làm trễ, hai là gặp sếp thẳng luôn. Hai gặp thẳng rồi chứ làm sao giờ. Cửa khóa. Thôi, gặp sếp thẳng rồi.
Predictably, he chose the direct route.
Hello bạn. Đang làm việc gì đấy? Coi chung với. Để dùm đi đường kia được không nhỉ? Cái game nó không cho. Ây da,
John was nearly trampled by the morning coffee rush.
cút ra. Chạy ơi. Nó khỏe quá. Xài đít để hút. Được liền. Ây da, sếp kìa.
Everyone else was hard at work, grinding away. John might actually get away with this.
Ôi ôi ôi. Thằng kia làm gì đấy? Tính bắt à?
The boss. He homed in on John, deluging him with spit and buzzwords.
Ôi ôi,
The boss ran out of synonyms for John's failings and gave him an ultimatum. Barbara would definitely not be interested in dating John if he was unemployed. He had to get to the quality assurance department. There might be a faulty dildo just waiting to cost the company millions in lawsuits. John would have to test them all. Every atom of John's rectum began to vibrate with the frequencies of pure pleasure. His orifice was a paradise. This vibrator would end all wars. It was good.
Tiếp theo. Game mùi
That one was good too.
Lên được không?
The Prostate Pounder X900 series,
Phải.
the most advanced vibrator on the market. Sweet mother of no, John, that's too much pleasure for one anus to handle.
Rồi lên. Thôi xong rồi. Phải. Thôi xong. Neck deep.
John's butt hurt, but his heart was proud. If that vibe had gotten out into the world, it could have injured a customer as badly as it had ravaged his anus.
Giờ là
The boss arrived and congratulated John on taking one for the team and jumping on the hand grenade, or in this case, putting it up his butt. John was having trouble following the conversation because he was quite high on suppository painkillers. And then the boss said it.
ôi rồi.
Promotion. Finally, the company was recognizing John's hard work and ignoring his minor faults like lack of talent, constant lateness, and flatulence.
Hàng flagship. Mà
John's new office smelt like polished wood and success. John's success. Sam dropped by. He'd heard John had been hurt.
ấy da.
John
quá.
said he was fine. He wasn't a softie to complain about a mildly ruptured rectum. Besides, he had a promotion to celebrate. John had met Sam in college during a sports ball game. He'd given him some stiff competition.
Ơi, không được. Thằng kia phải thắng. Mày nè. Đấy, khó vô gôn quá rồi. Ui, từ từ. Ôi. Ôi, ôi.
Even when he won, Sam never acted like he was better than John. They'd started at Flesh Corp product testing together.
Đây là bạn thân của mình sao?
Nothing builds a friendship like a long day of dildo mounting. Yes, John had known Sam for a while. But John couldn't hang out with Sam. He had a reunion to prepare for. He was going out with Barbara tonight. He just had to ask her.
Cảm ơn bạn thân. Hôn cái nào. Ăn bánh được không? Mở máy lên coi làm được gì không. Không được. Đi gặp người gọi là gì nhỉ?
Everyone was quiet, listening to the presentation. A good moment for John to ask Barbara out.
Barbara là ai? Hú? Cái người đang ngủ hả?
That's not Barbara, John.
Là ai? Này, chắc là màu cam.
Barbara agreed.
Well, phải hả?
She nodded. Sort of. Things were really going John's way.
Ngon. Đồng ý đề hẹn rồi.
John tried to act as suave as possible and listen to Barbara talk business. He didn't want to blow his chances at long-term love and short-term sex. Barbara began to talk about monthly feedback figures, and John started to zone out, imagining him and Barbara at the reunion, a power couple. She would make his classmates sick with envy, if he could get her to tone down the boring chatter.
Okay.
John's balls were gripped by certainty. Barbara was the perfect date for the reunion.
Show your skills behind the bar. Yes, sir.
John thought he would impress Barbara by going behind the bar and showing the bartender a thing or two. Despite Barbara's protests that it was unnecessary, John knew that a true gentleman should follow her home.
Ôi.
He was excited. There was still 3 months until the reunion, and he'd already landed his perfect date. All he had to do
Chờ tí em
was
ơi.
seal the deal.
Chờ tí em ơi. Về nhà an toàn chứ. Hùng cái nào.
Barbara thanked John for the evening and politely did not invite him inside for coffee or sex, even though John had dropped some pretty obvious hints he'd be into both, or just the sex. The door slammed on John's hopes. He didn't understand. He'd laughed at all Barbara's pie chart jokes. He'd listened to her boring stories.
Buồn quá vậy.
The blank eyes of the lawn flamingos were witnesses to John's shame.
Không. Vô nhà kiếm chuyện luôn. Từ chối hả? Phá vườn này. Con gì đây? Ăn luôn. Sao đây có gì không? Không có. Có mấy con chim nè. Ôi, đi về nhà.
John began the lonely walk home, thoughts tumbling like shoes in a dryer. He had done everything wrong. Barbara had led him on just to humiliate him.
Khổ. Lên nhà cái gì? Phải nhà mình không vậy? Hả? Dạ không. Không phải nhà mình, không phải. Khổ thân.
John felt empty. How could he get love? felt like he was missing something, some key to attracting sex. But John was shooting blanks. What did Peens want?
Con chó xúc xích, mỗi con như bình thường.
Then it hit John out of nowhere. Stuff. He had the success. He just needed to show it off. But where was John going to get all the stuff he wanted? John needed a sign.
Buttloads of stuff or buttloads of cash.
A new day, a new John. He waited outside his local buttload store for it to open, eager to spend his promotion bonus on stuff. The best way to impress women. If it was buttloads of stuff John wanted, then he would need buttloads of cash.
Yeah.
There's nothing like a rectum full of money to make a peen feel like a man.
Để thêm tiền. Không có tiền. Cho này tiền. Đưa tao cái saxophone. Đưa ngay.
Generosity overwhelmed John.
Cái nón được không? Cho mình nó bán gì đây? Ai đây? À, bảo vệ. Gì trời? Kẹt ơi.
Suddenly it occurred to John that he was going to make a lot of choices. And every one of those choices would tell the world who he was. Did he want cheese or sausage?
Cái gì nhỉ? Mình khá là thích xúc xích.
Delicious. Just so Moorish.
Ăn hết được không?
Also delicious. How could John decide?
Bụng no quá.
Maybe one more. That's enough, John thought.
Không, chưa bao giờ là đủ.
It wasn't. John swallowed the last of the snacks and his self-respect. How did these tasty snacks make John feel loved?
What would a date think when they sat in John's home? Comfort or style?
Mua cái nào vậy? Mua cái này. Đóng mẹ mua bán đi. Nói này đóng nhau đi. Mua cái thôi mua cái này đi, không sợ đâu.
John went with comfort. Plus, it matched the couch he already had. John weighed up all the differences, but this was a tough choice.
Trời má, khó vậy? Chọn nào trời? Coi thử coi.
Something told John this was the TV for him.
Này sao? Không, phải lấy cái này. Hướng đến gọi là chăm sóc bản thân.
John chose the extremely, obviously bad TV.
Này thôi.
John realized that it was only 2 months and 29 days until the reunion. Time flies. Cactus or rose? Was John a rugged hero or a romantic poet?
Lãng mạn chứ, hướng đến sự lãng mạn thôi.
If John grew his own flowers, then he'd save on romantic gestures in the long run.
Mang tài hả? Thôi, mang tài chọn đi đi. Chết cũng phải. Hả?
There was nothing John could take with him to the grave.
Này sao?
Except his coffin. Death is inevitable. Style is not.
John liked to get his pizza delivered. That way he could see Delilah, the delivery peen. She always made him smile.
Dứa trên pizza hả? Má nghe tởm vậy?
John knew that Delilah thought pineapple on pizza was an abomination.
What bedding would Delilah prefer? John couldn't help wondering.
Giường pizza vãi cả kinh. Nói nhiều quá. Cút. Chọn này thôi.
Regular sheets, just like the regular pizzas he regularly ordered.
Devoid of any sense of style, buying new clothes would be John's toughest challenge.
John felt sharp and also like a phony.
Lịch lãm.
Very spunk rock. A nice fit, but could John pull off the colour? When was the last time John had been to the beach? It was a bit breezy, maybe for summer. The silky fabric made John feel like a celebrity.
Sao con gái vậy?
John might want to take the hem up a bit.
Mình sẽ chọn áo này. Dù mình không nghe rock.
John decided to go with the outfit.
Music, the food of love. Should John go retro sophisticated or just retro?
Mình thích đĩa hơn.
John was sure he could just pirate extra records.
Every can was made of metal, pulled from the bones of the earth, wrestled to the surface and smelted in roaring furnaces. All so John could buy peas preserved in salty water and stick them up his butt. John's new purchases were on the way to his apartment. All he had to do was invite a date over. One look at all his stuff and they'd be overwhelmed with sexual desire. John felt proud and also hungry. It gave him an idea. He should invite Delilah over for dinner.
Ok. Mời người ra pizza.
John was excited. Delilah was on her way. He just needed to set the mood to romance.
Thắp nến. Mình có cái gì để mà thắp nến nhỉ? Có cái này. Được rồi đấy. Mở nhạc lên rồi. Xài hoa, rải hoa.
John hoped she didn't have allergies.
Ấy à, đến rồi.
That must be Delilah at the door.
Ơi, từ từ. Giấu sẽ tôi. Giấu. Được rồi, giấu được rồi. Đây.
The door opened and there was Delilah. John gulped down his nerves and invited her in. John could tell that Delilah was impressed by his stuff. It was time to crank up the mood to seduction.
Uống rượu à?
John wanted to offer Delilah wine, but he'd already popped his cork. Delilah started looking as nervous as John felt. He assumed it was because she was shy too. They really were compatible. Of course, at the reunion, he couldn't mention Delilah was a delivery peen. That would be embarrassing. Delilah suddenly headed for the door. And just like that, John was alone again. Delilah hadn't even looked at his stuff. The rejection burned. John felt insignificant. He had everything he wanted. The job, the money, the stuff. So much stuff. He wanted to destroy all of it.
Phá hết.
Shove it into the abyss. His stuff didn't matter. He was a shaft in the machine. A lonely piston pumping away like all the others in his rigid place.
Thôi,
Nothing
không phá đồ
special
đâu.
about him.
Ra ngoài.
Why should
Sợ
Delilah
không khí.
or Barbara or any other peen be interested in dating him? He was just like everyone else and they could tell. John wanted to be special, but he had to face the numb truth. He wasn't. And all the money and stuff he'd ever accumulate wouldn't change that. He thought it would make him unique, but it just made him more like everyone else. He should leave it all. Get out of this little town and go on an adventure. See the world. He was a boring corporate drone, but he didn't have to be. He could be a traveler, exploring jungles and climbing mountains. He could visit the wonders of the world and get his picture taken. Like Peony Island, the unspoiled paradise he'd seen on TV. That was it. John had to travel.
Đúng rồi. Đi du lịch.
Bags packed, John was ready to put 5,000 miles between him and his problems. He was leaving it all behind.
Passport đây anh ơi. Ấy à. Hành lý. Từ lấy tiền cái. Nó không lấy được.
John was so close. He could almost smell the freedom of the skies.
Hello chị. Ấy à.
Security sent John back through the detector. John had forgotten he had his nail clippers with him. He'd have to buy another pair soon, or he'd look ridiculous.
Từ đấy.
When the acceleration of takeoff had slackened, John felt a sweet relief. He had left his worries on the runway. He was up in the clouds, on his way to adventure.
Đang đâu đây? Ai Cập à?
John's adventure had begun at last, and clearly it was a small world after all, and also a flat one. That was going to piss off the globeheads.
Còn gì đây? Ăn được không? Chiều quang thế giới. Control winning travel. Trời, tốn tiền kìa. Này thì tháp. Này Nga hả? Đúng rồi Nga. Trung Quốc rồi. Có tiền rồi. Gì đây? Konnichiwa. Đã mong đợi nhiều xúc tu hơn. Con gì đây? Ôi ôi. Ơi. Ơi con rắn. Trời ơi. Con mẹ mày nè. New Zealand này. Đây là Úc á hả? Giờ nhìn mới ra. Ăn con rắn luôn. Ơi. Bị rắn cắn đít. Kiếm cột này. Này là gì? Mỹ hả? Ủa? Đâu? Đây mới là Mỹ chứ. Chứ kia là gì? Xe lửa nè. Cưa đây được không? Được. Tháp rồi. Kingdom.
John was having fun, but something told him he needed to go home. Probably his empty bank account. John was on his way back home. He was out of money, but money can't buy love. What it can buy are the experiences that had made John a more interesting and developed person, with 100 Bookstagram photos to prove it. Finally, everything was going smoothly. John felt good to be back on the familiar ground of home, but he would feel better to be on the familiar mattress of home.
Hành lý mình đâu?
That's not John's bag. Not that one either.
Này sao? Lên chó. Được rồi.
Nope. John really loved a good prick.
Yeah.
It took John back to his summer job picking cacti. He hadn't gone back.
Đau quá. Chảy máu luôn ạ. Nhấc lên. Biết làm sao? Được chưa? Đưa xe tải. Được rồi. À, cái là hồi tưởng rồi. Mình thích chửi nhau không? Thích chửi nhau không? Quýnh này.
Despite John's swell of fresh optimism, traveling was exhausting, and he just really wanted to get home and get some sleep.
Hello bạn. Đi xe buýt. Go to the left, go to the right. Giờ sao? À, đây là hồi tưởng, hồi còn trẻ, hồi còn đi học. Tick face. Bây giờ thư tình này, ngon. Dương vậy. No one will ever love you. Ôi ôi.
Another nightmare. John's stress about getting a date for the reunion was making him think of her. Harmony. He hadn't seen her in years. Would she be at the reunion? John shook off the thought. He wasn't a child. He was a fully grown penis.
6 tuần nữa.
John, why is the bathroom barricaded?
What the fuck? Ôi giời.
For skin's sake, is that a swan? John had no idea how it had gotten into his home, or why it hated him so much. It would probably be best to leave it alone.
Không, quýnh nhau luôn. Con mẹ mày. Trời ơi, nó yệt. Nguyên chỗ nó đùng nhà mình. Là gì? Con này dữ quá à. Sao nhà kỹ à? Trời ơi.
John's butt started to buzz. Had he left a vibrator up there? Whatever it was, he should get it out.
Trời ơi, nhà cửa.
John's old phone.
À.
They really were indestructible. It was Sam calling.
Sam gọi.
He wanted to check in on John. The travel looked fun, but it was so sudden. Was John okay? Sam was such a softie, always worrying about feelings. John had only one feeling, and it was the feeling of being awesome. He could drop Sam a text, but John was on a mission. The reunion was getting closer, and he had to get a date.
Okay.
Fortunately, John knew exactly where to find love.
Là ở đâu? What the fuck?
John held his breath. He was about to meet his match. He had to reassure himself he could do this. He had a good job. He had nice stuff. He had traveled. He was ready to find love.
Ngon. Đấy, cầm hoa, cầm hoa.
On Weena, where all his sexy travel photos would give him the pick of the pack.
Evelyn 42 tuổi, má già gì? Thôi.
Too skinny.
Đi đâu? Sao nhìn
Too short.
Riding dirty. Chọn được không?
Hot.
Wanna party. Samuel là con trai mà.
Too much foreskin.
Longer and uncut. Chơi gai được không?
Sexy.
Looking for a love in club. Chơi hết luôn.
Very nice.
Stargazer. Show me your...
Nice shaft.
Let's grab some noodle. Good.
Not enough foreskin.
That is just small. Good.
Glasses.
Extreme salad. Trời ơi má. Bệnh kìa.
Bangs.
1 tiếng sau. Only club can judge me.
Yep, the pick of the pack.
Get any match? No club heads. Dog lover. Circle of love. Gặp con này mà. Hai mươi 24 tuổi hả? Ok.
Yes! John had the pick of the pack.
Yeah, Amanda. Tuổi 22. I'm a very dirty Pete if you wanna know what I mean.
John valued honesty in a date, but he had been expecting a different kind of dirty. A sexy and much more hygienic kind.
Dơ quá. Tưởng đưa đi hay kiểu kia. Maria, just an icon looking for love. Đó, đi chụp băng này.
John was scared of getting circumcised so late in life. Better put that on ice. It'll be okay, John. Chicks dig scars. I hope.
Tôi yêu dương vật
After
có
the
khiếu hài
reattachment
hước.
surgery, the doctors had told John to rest. So he did, for 6 hours.
À đây mình đây. Bạn hẹn hò của mình kìa. Kể chuyện như cuộc cướp. Cút.
John was in stitches.
Single mom, does anyone like cake? Gái một con hả?
Karen had invited John straight over. She was not fooling around. Very exciting. And now she wanted him round the back.
Không, tôi đi vô nhà coi được không? Hết đi được rồi. Cái gì bịp? Rồi sau đây cái gì?
Karen let John know that the cake was only for the kids, so was the candy and the piñata, and that she'd be back in 1 hour.
Ok, chung trong mấy nhỏ. Đây có gì không? Ủa? Là match mình để mà kêu mình trông trẻ thôi à? Khốn nạn vậy. I love picnics and reunions. Yeah, dễ hướng kìa. Gì bạn? Cái chuyện gì?
John laughed at Melody's hilarious bullfrog story. She was adorable. Everything was going perfectly.
Có phải? Không. Thôi sao bị cuốn đi rồi.
John never saw Melody again.
Sharona must be alpha suit.
So far, Weena had been a parade of weirdos and rejections. If this date didn't work out, John vowed to give it up. But maybe this time, maybe today would be his day.
Mấy chị dắt chó đi dạo.
Sharona sighed and said, "You'll do."
The fuck? Chồng mình đã làm chồng à? Này thì
John felt a little underdressed and a lot overwhelmed. He was surrounded by strangers, and Sharona was glaring at the muscular groom. At least John hadn't missed out on the cake. John realized that Sharona had only brought him to create some penis envy. What a terrible plan, for so many reasons. John got excited. They were going to cut the cake.
Ai cho mày cắt bánh?
"He's mine!" Sharona screamed as she launched herself at the newlyweds.
Suddenly, penises were up and yelling, "No, he's mine!" It was a no-holds-barred cockfight.
Ôi ôi. Ôi ôi.
As John dodged flying glasses and cake, he felt a stab of envy. The groom had dozens of penises after him, and John had none. It was just wrong.
Đánh nhau. Này. Cút ra.
John left the screams and explosions behind him. It was a disastrous end to his online dating.
Thua. Đi về.
He had tried everything, and it just wasn't good enough. He wasn't good enough. Maybe the bullies from school were right. John was a natural-born loser.
Thua. Là ai buồn? Ngồi trên ghế đá. Ngồi trên ghế ở hồ suy ngẫm.
Swans were so simple. If you gave them bread, they liked you. But you can't take a swan to a reunion.
Xuống bơi chung được không? Buồn quá, bị từ chối hết, quá buồn. Ây da.
John wanted what that groom had. Love. Real love. The kind that makes penises
Yeah.
fight to the death.
Cho mình xử lý thú bạn ơi. Ui quýnh nhau, ui rồi. Quýnh nè. Ây da, nó quýnh mình rồi. Thôi, chạy. Ây da. Đi tắm, sao có ngỗng này vậy? Thôi tắm cho ngỗng luôn.
Days later, the question was still bugging John. Why were so many penises in love with the groom, but no one loved John?
Nghe mà thấm, nghe mà buồn.
It wasn't fair. John deserved attention. He had money and Buttstagram pics of his adventures. He even still had quite a lot of stuff. What did that penis have that John didn't?
Xem TV.
Then it hit John. That penis was so strong and hard. That's what everyone wanted. That's what John wasn't.
Nghe mà buồn.
That's what John had to be to find love.
Vậy đi tập gym à?
It was time to hit the gym.
The sack. Khò.
John arrived at his local gym. A part of him couldn't believe he was here. He just wasn't a gym penis. But John had tried everything else. If he wanted to get the perfect date, he'd need to sign up.
Yes sir.
Sam? What was he doing here? Of course, Sam was married. John's theory was right. If you get muscles, you get love.
Bạn của mình này.
Out of nowhere, Sam asked John how he was doing. Really doing. For a moment, John wanted to be honest. But he didn't come to gym to be a softie. John was here to get hard. It was John's first time in a gym since school. He tried not to read too much into that.
Đăng ký.
Sam went on ahead with a chipper promise to meet up with John inside. John had two options. He could try month by month, or if he signed the 10-year Big Muscles Big Savings contract, he'd get a free easy squeezy water bottle.
Cái bình nước nghe ngon á, để bình nước luôn.
John wasn't a sucker. He knew the importance of hydration.
Uống nước trước cái.
The gym's clean peen pool policy meant that John would have to do something he had never done before. Get naked in front of strangers. Maybe he could set a record for speediest cleanse.
Phải đi tắm trước khi được tập á. Uống nước tiếp. Này thì ngủ.
John tried rinsing off in the toilet bowl. He
Ui
did
rồi.
not get clean.
Đây,
John
tắm
pretended
chung.
he was alone and not surrounded by wrinkly, wet cocks.
Hello các bạn. Nhìn gì? Có nhìn không?
If John had to be clean, he might as well do his laundry too.
Ok.
John liked the efficiency of it. Besides, he was going to the pool after this, so it's not like his outfit wasn't going to get wet anyway.
Ở đây
Sam
đây.
enthusiastically greeted John and offered to show him around, obviously not realizing that John was a natural athlete.
Rồi.
The pool was like baptism, the icy water washing away John's flabby flab. He found his stroke, gliding through the water like an eel with large, ungainly testicles. John stuck close to Sam, just to make sure Sam knew John could swim. Not because John was worried about drowning. No, not that. This wasn't hard. John couldn't believe Peens actually got gold medals just for splashing around. Maybe he could become an Olympian.
Sao chứ mình đang chịu
He
vậy?
was slowing down a bit, flailing a bit. But John pushed on, knowing that looking good in a Speedo was the only thing that could save him from an empty existence.
Nghĩ xíu ấy. Ôi rồi. Tôi sắp chìm bố rồi. Cố lên. Ê, đâu rồi?
John wanted to take a break, forever. The pool was not his friend. It was not the blissful wet dream of his fantasies. It was a hellish prison of murderous fluid, determined to drown him. No wonder life crawled out of the sea, desperate to escape the water.
Cái cuối.
Done.
Được rồi.
John had not drowned, but more importantly, he had not quit. Time to hit the weight room.
Giờ đi nâng tạ.
John's muscles bunched and bulged. The time in the gym was already paying off. Fresh from conquering the pool, John felt ready for anything the gym could throw at him, even heavy metal weights. Clearly, John knew how to handle equipment. Sam cheered John on, as if he needed it.
Thấy ghê chưa?
Adrenaline coursed through John's veins, his butthole clenched like a fist. John was forging himself into the peen he saw on movie screens, bulging and sweat-slicked, hard and shiny. Boom! John was cocked and loaded.
Bạn thấy tôi ghê chưa?
Didn't Sam ever get out of breath? The stream of encouragement was exhausting.
Ây da.
Slow and steady. That's right, John. Like a lover. Or pouring gravy.
Lấy cái nữa. Cái làm gì vậy? Ui.
John, getting flung from fast-moving objects since preschool.
Tập cái nữa được không?
Like the sweet sound of spaghetti and meatballs hitting a wall. Would John ever learn? Odds are no.
Tập tiếp thôi. Thằng kia ngủ rồi. Cút. Ngủ tiếp.
That had gotten John's heart rate up and his life expectancy down. John was sweating like a senator on a sex tape, but he wasn't done. Sam was in the zone, a mental state where nothing else mattered. Well, John could be in that zone too. He could be in that zone deeper than Sam, and he'd prove it. John took a deep breath, clenched, and pulled. Sam made this look so easy. John squashed the thought. He'd just have to push harder. John tried to make eye contact with Sam, get in his head a bit. Sam didn't seem to notice John, but John could tell Sam was impressed. even though he still hadn't looked at John. Not that it mattered to John, because John was in the zone.
Bạn thấy tôi ghê chưa? Ui
In the zone. With the sound of a deflating truck tire, John's sphincter gave out. Sam congratulated John for trying and told him it was okay to take things slow, as if John was going to quit. Well, he wasn't. John had a mission, and the reunion was getting closer.
Vẫn còn 6 tuần á. Tập luyện. Đã. Ưa. Ăn. Làm việc. Năm tuần. Cố lên. Quá mệt. Lâu vậy? Ấy à? Đi ghê chưa? Ưa. Ăn tiếp. Thôi mấy cái hũ quay kìa. Tuần. Ấy à. Đột phốt. Uống nước cái. Đang suy nghĩ là dán cái nhãn 18 cộng cho cái video này. Kho. Thấy có lên tí nào đâu. Nhìn vẫn vậy mà. Rồi, không đi bên trái rồi sao? Nó không cho. À, mới lại nhớ lại hồi xưa. Harmony đây là crush hồi xưa của mình. Được rồi đấy. Ơi. Điền khác. Trường. What the fuck. Ôi rồi ôi. May quá. Này thấy ghê vậy. Là ác mộng rồi. Hoài luôn. Go through the door on the left. Go through the door on the right. Yeah. Ở đây. Impressor. Ghê chưa? Nhìn thấy ghê vậy. No one will ever love you. Nữa rồi đó. Nữa rồi đó. Oh.
As soon as John woke up, the mirror called to him. His abs looked like a pack of vacuum-sealed hot dogs. Tasty. Jim had remade John into a sculpted Adongus.
3 tuần trước khi học lớp.
He was finally everything a peen should be. Successful, travelled, and photogenic. It was time for his morning pre-gym workout.
Chim. Con ngỗng nè.
The swan was starting to like John. It hadn't tried to peck his eye out in hours.
Ngỗng tên Ronson nè. Tắm rửa. Tắm xong thì mình tắt nước. Rửa. Trong này có gì đây? Chích cái chó gì đây? Steroid à? Ôi vãi.
The reunion invitation caught John's eye. He read it again and again. Stunned. He'd gotten the date wrong. Very wrong. The reunion was tonight.
Vãi.
Tonight!
Họp lớp tối nay à?
He'd have to go alone.
Tụ trường chứ, nhầm.
They'd all be there, and they'd look at John and they'd know he was still a loser. No, there was still time. John needed a date fast. He'd have to go out. He'd have to make an impact. John had to dress his best, only better. Is this sending the right message? Oh my, John. Welcome to the gun show.
Nhìn rất là punk.
There had to be someone single and desperately alone in the city. Someone besides John. He just had to find them.
Yes, sir.
John went straight to the nearest bar. Sure, it was still early, but he couldn't waste any time. There must be some day drinkers he could pick up.
Đánh nhau hả? Mẹ mày. Ui dồi. Quýnh nhau nè. Thôi không quýnh nhau nữa. Chạy.
It was a classy place. Even the vomit was high quality. The bouncer looked like a hagfish that had taken up lacrosse.
Họ định quýnh mình. Đừng ngủ nữa anh ơi. Thế à?
John stepped into the bar and saw her. The answer to the question, what was John's purpose? Her. Loving her. Being with her. taking her to the reunion. Their eyes met, and John knew she felt the same.
Ây da.
Gladys did not feel the same, but John wasn't going to give up on their life together. A couple of drinks would loosen her up to their destiny.
Yes sir. Cho tao uống. Em xúc động chưa?
Wow, Gladys was not an amateur when it came to drinking. John had to keep up.
Uống thêm hả?
It was working. Gladys was definitely warming up to John.
Uống dữ lắm rồi. Từ từ. Đi đãi cái. Không được.
John's bladder was very full. It sloshed audibly as he moved.
Thôi xong. Find the red room. Đây. Rồi. Dễ. Được đấy.
Holy balls. John had never felt such relief.
Phong mày làm cái gì này? Không đi ra được. Ôi rồi. Ui rồi. Ui rồi. Thôi. Đấy, rửa tay cái. Đi xong phải rửa. À, rửa chim.
If only John could wash off the embarrassment like he washed off the urine.
Được đấy.
John looked around.
Oh.
Gladys was gone. John cursed his petite bladder.
Hỏi bartender.
The bored bartender shrugged and told John Gladys had left because some creep was trying to get her drunk.
Find this creep. Bây giờ có thằng dám mời rượu em
The
kia.
bar was empty. The creep must have left too. It was clear the cockpit was on autopilot. Time for John to hit the next bar.
Okay.
John's anxiety had sunk under the surface of the beer he'd drunk, while his confidence was floating high. This was the place he'd find love.
Tea baggers. Chỗ uống trà. Các bạn.
It was empty, except for the bartender. Clearly this bar's only special was unhappy hour.
2 for 1.
2 for 1 was a good deal though, and so far the beer had lifted John's spirits. Another 4 would make him feel twice as good.
Lại uống. Nghiện. Cho thế bạn ơi.
The bartender gave John a smile that set his heart hammering. He had to impress him.
À, phụ nữ hả? Tip the bartender. Even larger tip. Bỏ him hả? Dữ vậy. Ui.
What was so offensive about offering a big tip in exchange for a date? John had thought bartenders loved tips. He needed to find a better club, one with a vibe.
Yes sir. Còn 4 tiếng.
John was drawn by the pulse of the music. It pulled him forward like a moth to a fiery death. John was running out of time to find a date and prove that he wasn't a loser.
Love at first glance. Yêu từ cái nhìn đầu tiên. Yes sir.
Dancing, the real way to flirt, the way of animals, of wild sexual creatures, John strutted and shook his booty. With boobs buzzing round his head, John found himself on the dance floor. Everyone was up close and sweaty. John was exhilarated. He felt alive.
Yeah. Khó vậy?
John was working himself up to try a little bump and grind.
Vẫn không ai date. Quá
It was a
buồn.
moment out of a movie. John alone on the dance floor with a gorgeous penis.
Ây da.
Their sexual chemistry
À có người
exploding.
nhảy với mình. Ngon.
She moved away, coyly. John could tell when someone was playing hard to get. He let her marinate in the tension before making his move.
Khó vậy, nhảy khó vậy. Sure.
John wasn't taking no for an answer.
Ây da. Gì đấy?
Some people have no sense of fun, but John was certain the next bar would be
Nó chỉ
different.
bị đuổi ra, vãi.
The next bar wasn't different. John couldn't understand why everyone was so sensitive. It was like no one wanted to have a good time. Like no one had a sense of humor. John had meant that as a compliment. When did the world get so uptight? John's ego was as bruised as his shaft. He had to admit it. He'd failed. He was where he belonged, in a creepy murder alley covered in trash.
Nó nghe ghê vậy. Chùa đây luôn.
John would have to go
Thôi.
through the garbage to get out. Oh, that's gross. Oh, it's so moist, but textured. It smells like rotting dick yogurt.
Được chưa?
John's misery was sour in his mouth. He needed a drink to wash it down. There was still one bar he hadn't been kicked out of yet.
Lại bỏ ra. 1 tiếng.
John had cleaned himself up as much as possible. He really needed a mint.
Find love with winner. Để làm gì? Lấy gì?
John got it in, but he needed more to satisfy the machine.
Bắt cái phu hả?
Nailed it.
À! Con mẹ. Bạc hà, kìa bạc hà. Trời ơi. Tưởng bắt cái phu. Máy hư rồi.
John let out his anger, his frustration. Life was a shitty joke. It wasn't fair. You want to mess with John? Do you?
Này thì. Return là gì? Press return. Return là cái chó gì? Bàn phím làm gì có nút nào là nút return? À. Từ nhớ mình search Google cái.
This is what you get.
Ủa là cái đó hả? Enter hả?
Fuck you fucking thing. You had one job.
Này thì
Die!
quá bực mình.
It's not fair. It's not.
Được đấy.
That's how you get what you want.
Chưa.
Menthol. John wanted the strongest drink they had. Rough night? Someone asked John. He hadn't noticed her when he came in, but now he did.
Ấy à?
It really had been a rough night for John, but he felt a little better that someone cared enough to ask.
Hello bạn.
It was a pity they were only sort of attractive.
Quan tâm ngoại hình đúng không?
But destiny had given John a second chance. John made his move. Unfortunately, according to Alice and to her boyfriend Chadrick,
Ấy
it
à?
was the
Các bạn
wrong
trai rồi hả?
move.
What the fuck? Ấy à, quýnh nhau.
Chadrick threw John into the alley and followed, making unoriginal but still terrifying threats.
Này thì
Get him, John. I can't watch. Don't hold back. Oh my god. Give it to him.
này thì
John had survived. No, he'd won. He'd won. He'd won. He wasn't a loser. And there was the proof lying in a bruised, bloody heap. John didn't need a date to the reunion. He needed to go over there and beat the pre-cum out of those dicks. High school reunion, the perfect time to teach someone a lesson.
đi đập bọn kia. Đi đập mấy bạn học cũ. Vãi. Ra khỏi đây cái gì? Ấy à, mày mày giang hồ mày.
The doors of the school, a sight John had dreaded every day for years, and now he was going willingly through them, unafraid, fueled by years of unprocessed anger fermented in loneliness. John was back.
Ok. Tụ trường.
The chickens were coming home to roost, and they were all cocks.
Không đọc nữa hả? Hello các bạn. Ấm được không?
Whoa, John, save it for the bullies. These were the peanlets he'd grown up with, now with jobs and marriages and beer bellies. John was surprised at how ordinary they had all turned out.
Mày bắt nàng đâu?
He spotted them, John's tormentors. Time for them to feel the wrath.
Đấy à? Này thì
Stuff, John.
ui ôi, không thấy gì hết.
Get in there. Fight back, John. Pow.
Don't let up. Ow!
Đang rồi.
Whoa! Shake off the pain, buddy.
Thằng kia đâu?
Ha! Who's a loser now?
Chùm cuối.
You. Ha!
Mày đi.
John had won. He'd won. No one could say John was a loser now.
Mà còn gì nữa đâu. Quá buồn.
John's primal joy faded as he saw how the other penises looked at him. Not like a winner, like he was trash.
Quá buồn. Quýnh mấy này luôn. Mày cười đó mày. Mày bị chơi đó mày.
John tumbled down the steps, hitting every bruise on his length and his ego.
Quá buồn.
It was her, Harmony.
Ôi rồi.
She had been at the
Crush
reunion.
crush cũ.
She'd seen it all and followed John out. To
crush được
laugh
không?
at him more? No, to see if he was all right. Why did that hurt John so much?
À hỏi thăm.
This was John's chance to ask her. Why, all those years ago, she'd said to him, "No one will ever love you."
Trời ơi, ra là
Harmony stared at John in shock. How could John not know why? Didn't John remember what he'd done?
mình đã làm gì? Nhớ lại hồi xưa à? Nhớ lại hồi xưa. Go to the left, go to the right. Top, bottom. Tổ ong. Này tổ ong mà. Ask her out. Hello bọn. Hẹn hò với mình đi. Ây da. Wow. Nhạc to quá vậy. Gốc rễ của mọi thứ. What the fuck? 6 tiếng sau. À đây Sam đây.
There was nothing Sam enjoyed more than the fresh air of an early morning. The dew sparkling on the grass, the music of the trees, space to think.
A friend to play with you. Chồng mẹ ơi.
Sam stared at the view, peaceful.
Cái phím của mình bị liệt. Cái phím này của mình bị liệt. Hay gì, từ từ để mình lấy bàn phím khác.
It was fine to stay still and enjoy the absence of pressure to move forward.
Trời mẹ ơi. Đây, cái phím khác đây. Được đấy. Từ từ, game này thời lượng bao lâu vậy? Mình coi coi. Một tiếng rưỡi hả? Hồ đây.
What was that smell? It made Sam's eye water.
Ôi rồi.
John was awake and tolerably clean. Sam tried to be gentle and invited John to join him on his walk.
Vậy sao? Đâu đi rồi? What the fuck? Hả? Là sao ní?
It was John, passed out and crusted with vomit and regret.
Mà cho không di chuyển được. Hả? Giờ phải quýnh mấy ngỗng này. Được rồi. Giờ là mình đang điều khiển cả hai nhân vật luôn á nhá. Trời mẹ. Cút ra. What the fuck man. Được rồi.
Sam coaxed John along. It was like herding compost.
Let's return to action up. Vậy đi bạn ơi. Điều khiển hai cái cùng lúc khó rồi, thề. Kẹt bố đây rồi. Được rồi.
John couldn't answer Sam's questions yet. How had he ended up such a wreck?
Ngủ được hả? Dậy. Ăn hot dog. Điều khiển khó vậy. Từ từ, đi xuống trước nè. Qua đây, John qua kia. Ok, được rồi. What the fuck?
Even that bit of senseless destruction couldn't cheer John up.
John buồn.
Sam saw his friend's misery. He suggested they keep going.
Có khi nào đi chơi với nhau không?
John
Tâm sự.
wanted to know something. Why didn't anyone love him? As soon as he said it, he felt like a softie, whining about his feelings.
Quá buồn. Ơi. Kẹt dưới nước rồi. Ai vô. Bị to quá, bị kẹt dưới nước à vãi. Ôi. Đi ra. Cố lên. Tôi điều khiển John rồi, đẩy ra được không? Kìa đấy nhỉ? Không mà bạn. Kẹt chỗ gì kỳ vậy? Được rồi. Bố sư. Press E to respond to John chứ.
But Sam didn't make fun of him. Sam asked him to go on. And so John told him the whole story about how hard he'd made himself and how unfair it felt, and everything he'd done.
To realize how it sounds.
Saying it out loud, John realized he'd sounded like an asshole. But he'd done everything right. Why didn't he get what he wanted?
John.
Why didn't John get love?
Tại sao? Để đưa lời khuyên cho John.
Wanting someone isn't the same as loving them, said Sam. You figure it out, John. But you have to keep trying.
Thế à?
How about a bike ride? Sam asked.
Thôi ơi, lái xe đạp. Con mẹ nó chết rồi.
John struggled to get his balance, but Sam told him not to give up. John kept trying, getting better as they went.
Khó vậy. Được. Mình đến đâu vậy trời? Qua đây xong rồi sao lên đây.
John and Sam stopped and looked at the sunset.
Nhìn hoàng
For a
hôn.
moment, John let himself be quiet and listen to the world and look at how beautiful it could be. Life can be hard, said Sam, but that doesn't mean we have to be.
The fuck? Stop your feelings. Thái Hòa. Therapy. Pain your emotions. Okay. Cốt truyện là gì? Chỉ có đàn ông mới mang lại hạnh phúc cho nhau à? Thế à? Gặp gỡ vợ với con của ta. Đấy, được liền. Ôi! Giải cứu mèo con khỏi cây. Viết văn. Thơ chứ nhỉ? Xem Titanic. Cô bạn ơi đừng khóc. Nhưng mà cho nó làm cái gì? Mà không hiểu. Đó là bạn. Xin lỗi. Chắc là hồi xưa bị từ chối nên là hành hung. Thua. Có cái tiếng gì hay ghê vậy? Developer digital free life. Huh. Thanks for playing. Cảm xúc lẫn lộn. What the fuck?